What's up? What's up? I'm back with another video. We talking about Superman. Superman has outgrossed the Man of Steel at the domestic box office. It's over 292 million domestic. That's big. That is a big win for Superman because everyone say, "Oh, it couldn't do this and that." DC was coming. DC had a lot of baggage coming in, and Superman it was fighting more enemies they had to go up against than the ones on screen. And so you see the Superman movie pulling through, defying all the odds. And so right now, according to what is it, Mojo, box office, whatever, right? The Mojo, box office Mojo, rather, it's sitting at worldwide. Where's the Superman at? Here we go. 500 over 506 million. That's over half a billion right there. And what's the so it's like what 292 454,041. That's the domestic. And right now, it takes a while for the international numbers to update. So right now, I was talking to you on Tuesday, on the 29th, it's at 214 million international. So international numbers has started to pick up. And everyone was saying, "Oh, the Fantastic Four numbers are gonna be higher than Superman's in the domestic." As though I never believed that for a second that Fantastic Four could have bigger domestic numbers than Superman. No way. And when you look at everything, what James Gunn had to do, get the fans to come back to the movies, to the theaters, to be interested in DC, he accomplished that. So he was able to get on base, and being that this, took out one of the old guards domestically, anyway speaking, whether it will pass the Man of Steel total a theatrical run at 670 million, that's to be seen. So we'll wait to see on that one. But everything else, James Gunn's been hitting on the cylinders. Remember, Man of Steel was in the theaters 90 days to get that 670 million, all those numbers, right? Superman has been in the theaters less than a month, and you really look at it. Back in 2013, people was in the theaters. The movie stayed in the theaters much longer, like 3 months. Really, now movies stay in the theaters probably if you're on a lucky 45 days, right? So, but I hope they let this Superman continue to cook more, give us some, let it stay in there because it's showing to have legs. And the other competition, like that's two movies, Marvel movies, Superman that knocked out, that hit out the stratosphere, right? They destroyed, Captain America 4, Brave New World, Thunderbolts. Some would say it was a good movie, but the fans didn't speak with their wallets. So at the end of the day, it's what the fans say with their wallets, though. All this talking back and forth on Twitter, that doesn't matter. You can think that it can do this and that. I can think it can do this and that. It doesn't matter. It's what the fans think, and with their wallets. So that's a ultimate barometer, the meter you could judge by is how a person does what they're spending. You could tell how well they're rocking with you. So that was big, overtaking Man of Steel at the domestic box office. That's huge. James Gunn's first live action DC movie, where some would say he was only good at MCU what they was going on doing in MCU. Okay, that's fine. He's a big part of that MCU reshuffle. Just look at the credits. Obviously, he screenwritten, direct Guardians of the Galaxy. He has a credit in Infinity War. Because they're using his characters in there. So yeah. But it's about Superman. People say it was going to flop, this and that, right? It's far from flop. Now remember, his production budget, what is it? 225 million. And we know we go by the rule of thumb, or the Hollywood rule, what they do, production budget times, right? 2.5 of your production budget, right? So we know that's probably around 563. Now, even if you were to use the John Campion's model, right, what he likes to do, production budget production budget plus marketing times 1.5. So let me just get my little calculator up here. It's not gonna be that far off from what they was saying. So hold on for a minute. So we're gonna do this, right? Y'all at home. I'll keep up. 225 And so, plus I'm hearing like the budget's between 100 and 125. So let's say 125, right? That's 350. So times 1.5, right? So that would give you 525. So actually, that would be less than 2 times production. So that's why they go with production budget. Even if you add the marketing with the production budget times at 1.5, it doesn't matter. You still come, so the 2.5 will be higher than that anyway. So Superman's getting closer to like breaking even on the production because listen, a lot of people understand when you look at all of this, right? People, even though they put in the marketing, but look at the branded deals they get paid for that. So anything with Superman names on some marketing stuff, as far as like Dairy Queen, they paid them for that. So Superman already made back not only the marketing budget plus more than that already. I'm pretty sure. So that's how it works. People are, oh, they're going to the marketing. They make that money back easy. You'll wind up making that money back on your marketing before you do it on a film. Be honest with you. So just all the money they can win back in that marketing. So that's offsetting a lot right there. So yeah. So that's not an issue. So they about to break even. 563 will be the break even point for them. You know, technically, for a production budget, if we're gonna be honest, production budget really, once they hit 450, so anything over 500 is really like a bonus, right? Because look at it, we know 450, right? Minus the 50% at the first, which is the standard take. A lot of times, some might get more, like movie studios might get more than that 50%. But let's just say 50%, right? Let's just say it's 50%. Minus that 450, that's what? That's 225. So you already matched that production budget. So now, so technically, it possibly, you probably said in 500, you're probably said in a profit. Anything over 500, you said in a profit probably. But we'll just say 563 just to go by the rule of thumb with the Hollywood, production budget times two and a half. Five. So it's in the coming days. By this weekend, they'll probably have that production budget back. So yeah, but all this time, it was like a lot of hate going on with the Superman. I was saying, why? Why would you hate on Superman? Because he's not like viciously killing someone like Homelander. Like, come on. And people just do all this hate on the movie series on Fox and that without any data. Just going off their feelings. And you see how that worked out for him. And Superman said in the movie, good luck with that. So you see the movie is by far exceeded expectations. Over 500 million. Let's look at the movie F1, 511 or more. Mission Impossible, it had 592 million, but these all came out before Superman. How to Train Your Dragon, over 600 million. Jurassic Park, over 700 million. So yeah, it was a lot of movies. A lot of movies that came out this year, they even do $500 million, right? Look at the movie Sinners. Superman cleaned that up. Sinners only did 365 million. And remember, Sinners had, before it was a lot at that time, they had 278 million plus at the domestic box office. Superman already surpassed that. And Superman, he's closing in on 300 million domestic, which I believe it will get to the 400 million domestic. And I believe Superman does have a shot to get to the 300 international. So I believe 700 million is still in play for Superman. Whether we get it, I don't know, but it's still in play. So look, Superman, it surpassed Man of Steel. People gonna bring up inflation. I don't care about that. One thing we do know, people go to the movie theaters way more. Movies was staying in the theaters way longer or whatnot. And look at the trend was going on back then. DC wasn't in a bad shape that was in before James Gunn got here. Just look at that. So I don't care about inflation. If we go talk about inflation, where this movie made this, if you add inflation, let's add inflation for the budget and the marketing, right? Add all those costs together, and a lot of other stuff we got to add also, right? So it's not. So there's still variables that we can't really explain, can't all, it doesn't matter what it does with inflation. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. We live in the here and now, right now. Okay, what's going on right now? Right now, Superman surpassed Man of Steel domestic. That's what we do know. Those are the facts. Whether you want to add inflation or not, it doesn't matter. So that's how I look at it. A big win for James Gunn and company. What they put forth. I always had faith in James Gunn. Believe that he could deliver the goods, handle this, and he has. And there's a lot of people salty. Even in the discourse I be in, a lot of people. I ain't gonna say no names because they're not that important, right? But a lot of people want to see the Superman movie fail. But I told you it wasn't gonna fail. I was the trailers had me hyped to believe that this movie was gonna be good. And also, I'm gonna say this: Superman probably is the most rewatchable movie that came out this summer. I did check out Fantastic Four. Not as much rewatchable. It wasn't as fun as Superman. I'm just being honest. It didn't have those emotional settings as much as Superman did. That's just me. I might be a little biased because I'm a big time Superman, but that's just my honest truth. So, but this is a big time achievement for James Gunn's first movie in the DCU. The knockoff Man of Steel, who a lot of people love, which has caused a divide between two factions at DC. And so, yeah, so great job, James Gunn. DC was right to hire this man, bring him and Seraphin over there. Right, and they got a lot of big things coming away, which I'm gonna give you some more video breakdowns or the other stuff that's coming DC way. But I just want to focus more so on the Superman. What this means, knocking off Man of Steel. Because listen, domestically anyway, we will get a sequel. Eventually, that sequel's gonna get announced, but we will be getting a sequel to Superman. Best believe that. And I don't really have a whole lot more to say, but I'm just ecstatic and happy being a diehard Superman fan to see the success where other people and other pundits, you say, was hating on his, was wishing on his praying on his downfall, so to speak. But it soared past all the competition to let you know that Superman is here to stay in today's world. What's going on? And like the movie was excellent to me. I gave it a 9 out of 10. It was excellent. Comic book movie was excellent. So that's all I got for now. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I'll be back with another one. I'm out. One.